In the previous video, we took the catenary basic parametric truss definition and created this capacity for it to array with different spacings and different numbers. And I'm going to take these components that I've added and I'm going to window them and mouse wheel click and make them into a group. And I'm going to use the scribble command to give this a name, and I'll just call it array. And it's good practice to group logical functions that you have and to give them descriptions. And I can make the name now also part of that group by adding to group. And so now I have this that I can move around. In fact, I'm going to take that and this curve bucket and I'm going to move it up kind of above the edge of the canvas here so I can see the difference between the new stuff and the old stuff. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through extending the top chord, because if we look at this and imagine in an architectural situation trying to sit this onto a beam or a wall, there isn't really enough length to this top chord, but the top chord is what drives everything else, so we can't simply just take it and change it willy-nilly. We have to duplicate it and extend it, and this is actually takes a few steps, and it uses some of the information that we already have to work with, such as endpoints and whatnot. So the basic thing we're going to do to extend the top chord is use a scale component, and so I'll zoom in here just above catenary, where I can see the curve bucket that I created with the top chord curve and where it's going, and I'm going to take that and use it for a scale. So you can type in scale, and the one that we're going to use is non-uniform scale, meaning that we want to scale it in the y direction and not anywhere else. I'll again borrow a slider, and I want something that's going to have a range of between 1 as a minimum, so it will be the same size, and maybe 1.1, about a 10% increase as the maximum. And I can rename this extend top. And so this is the amount that I'm going to extend it. We have the geometry, so I can bring a wire from the curve. We know that we want to extend it in the y. This doesn't need to be a vector because it knows what direction it's going in. And so now if you look at the screen on the left, as I increase this, you see the green line extending out. And so I'm extending this top curve, but only on one end. This is not working on both ends. If we look over here, this end is not extending. So we've got to find a way to get it to extend equally in the other direction. And to do that, I'm going to take this this new curve and the old curve, and I'm going to compare them and get a length. And then I'm going to make a copy of this that moves in the opposite direction. So first I'm going to start with a length component, which will determine the length as a number of our top curve. So now we know what its length is. And I'm going to copy that and use it again to also get the length of the new one, the scaled one. And so now I have two lengths. And I'm going to subtract one from the other using a subtraction component from the Maths tab. So I get the result. In this case, I get it 3 times because there are 3 of these. Maybe to see it better, I might just reduce my array down here so that we're only seeing this once and we get a clearer sense of what we're doing. So back up to our new set of components here. Now I'm going to run this length into a vector in the y direction. So I want a y unit vector. And I want to reverse it, so we want to come in the negative direction. So we're going to reverse vector. And I'm going to do a move. And I'll move this geometry. And remember, a move also creates a copy. So we'll have both of these. So there's my distance and vector, and here's my geometry. And so it's a little hard to see down here, but there is a green line highlighted right now coming out of the end of this. And it is, trust me, lengthening and shortening. If I increase my array and get a version of this that's away from that construction plane, you can see that there's a red line on each side, and that it grows and shrinks. But it's not enough to just pipe these two lines. They're overlapping each other. That's not clean geometry. And so what I want to do instead is create a new line from the endpoints of these. And so I can double click and start typing in end, and there is a component that will take a curve and will give you the endpoints. So I'm going to use this twice because I want the beginning of one and the end of the other. So I'll have two endpoint components here. And so I'm going to put these two curves, the scaled curve and the moved scaled curve. So now you see on the left that I have endpoints. And that's good because those are what I want to use. They're sitting out here and moving back and forth. So now I just have to make a new line, just a 2-point line. And I need to select the start of one of these, which is, you see the beginning points here lit up from the move, right? And I want the start point of that. And then I want the end point of the other. And I get a new line that goes from the furthest distance to furthest distance. So now I can actually not preview things like the scaled line and other things, so that I'm seeing just this new line. And now I can take that and feed it down into the top chord pipe, holding shift. And zooming in, you can see now that I have a new top chord. In fact, I don't need this curve to connect in there anymore to this pipe, because I've actually got a pipe on top of a pipe. So I'll right click on this input and I'll disconnect. In this case, the curve bucket that I had created earlier is no longer creating the top chord pipe. It is now this new set of geometry here that I've created and that I'll make a little more space efficient, that is creating the new extended top chord. So I will take all of that and I will group it, and I'll put a name on that. I'll copy catenary and put that up here, and I'll modify that to say extended top chord. And I'll make that part of this this group by right-clicking and saying Add to Group. So we now have a fully functioning array with an extended top chord. And we're going to come in the next video and add a little bit more functionality to this, some stringers that will run across the top of this. So that will be coming in the next video. Thank you.